Welcome to the Mindset Chick podcast. If you are looking to stop settling and want to gain the clarity and confidence to manifest the life and biz of your dreams, then this show is for you. I'm your host, Christy Deer, sharing with you simple yet powerful and effective mindset tips that will allow you to attract more abundance, prosperity, and success into your life. So get ready, get excited, and let's go manifest some amazing things together. Welcome back to the Mindset Chick podcast. I am so happy to have you here. And today we have a very special guest, one of my friends, and she's also one of my fitness trainers at the Burn Bootcamp that I attend. And she is amazing and kicks my butt every time I go, but in a good way. Natalie Tuman helps women like you find their strength by being perfectly imperfect, both physically and mentally, through her public speaking ventures, podcast episodes, and virtual coaching clients. She leads a passion-driven business focused on encouraging women to take action now. She's a recent breast cancer conqueror, and she encourages women to not have to wait for tragedy to strike before they can take action on caring for themselves. She is a mom to 3 kiddos, and she's been a personal trainer for more than a decade. She has ridden the roller coaster from ultimate health to the bottom of the barrel and back again. She knows the struggles that everyday women face, as well as those who are fighting to regain their identity and finding a new normal. She's the founder of My Think Fit, the Tuman Breast Cancer Foundation, and the co-host of Life Work, the podcast. So Natalie, it's so great for you to join us here today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to get to talk with you a little bit.
Yay. Okay. So Natalie, you support women to take care of themselves from the inside out. Tell me more about that.
Well, my brand is My Think Fit, and that started, more than a decade ago. And I've always truly believed that you have to think fit first. It has to come from the inside before you can reach any of your fitness goals. It's kind of like you talk to people that, for example, want to quit smoking or something like that, right? And like your loved ones all around you can want you to quit whatever this bad habit is so much, but until you're truly, truly ready, like you're never going to do the thing, right? Mm-hmm. And so I kind of have always correlated that to our health and fitness journeys. So until you can really get your mind right and get straight there, it's really not going to matter what you're doing because you're going to give up, you're going to quit. It's not going to mean much to you. So, I just think that you truly, truly have to think fit first before you can truly live fit. And I also believe that when you have everything stripped away from you, you have no other choice. It doesn't matter what's going on the exterior if you're not okay on the inside. So I just think that regardless of where you are in life, like you've got to learn how to take care of yourself from the inside out.
I love that. Think fit first, because that's so important. Like you said, when I was a personal trainer and I was wanting to support people on their health and fitness goals, you can't really motivate somebody. You can inspire them to action, but they have to want to take action and they have to, believe in themselves, basically motivate themselves to want to change. Like you were saying, other people could want it for you, but you have to want it for yourself. You have to believe in it. You have to motivate yourself. And so I love that mantra, think fit first. That's perfect.
Yeah, I know. It's just always really spoken to me. I wanted my brand to just be Think Fit, my website, but it was taken I think it was 12 years ago. It was already taken. So it's like, okay, well, fine. It'll be My Think Fit.
Yeah, that it was. It was perfect. So Natalie, tell us why you're so passionate about this.
So I was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was 38. So in 2018, don't do the math, it'll tell you how old I am. When I was 38, I was diagnosed with stage 3 grade C breast cancer. And I was truly if you would have looked at pictures or looked at lab work or anything like that, I was at the epitome of my health and fitness. I was doing great. There were no complaints in that arena, I didn't think. But throughout that journey, everything was stripped away from me, right? I lost every inch of hair that was on my body. I was so sickly looking. My fingernails turned brown. My teeth got jacked. I had sores in my mouth. At one point, I had an infection all over my face. If you can take the worst of the worst in looks, like that's pretty much what you were going to get. I had sores on my head, scars all over my body now. So basically, like every single thing on the exterior was completely stripped away from me, right? Like there was nothing left on that. So when you have nothing left on the outside, it has to come from somewhere, right? Pressures are so heavy on women. Well, on everybody, really, right? Like we put so much weight on people's looks. And do they have a six pack? And if you don't have a six pack, do you even really want to, use them as like your fitness role model? Or, are they beautiful? Do they smile? What are their teeth look like? There's just all of these things, and the pressures are so heavy. But it's like there's so much more. There is so much more. And if you woke up tomorrow and every bit of your physical appearance is taken away from you, what are you going to be left with? And because the chances are it could very likely happen, it can strike when you least expect it. So it has to come from somewhere. And so you've got to start on the inside and work your way out. And that goes for, mental health. That goes for your inner wellness, right? Just as far as overall health. That goes for your strength. Like it's in every arena, your mind, body, soul. Like you've got to start on the inside before anything.
Yeah. I love that. That's so true, because your outward appearance can change, and it will change over time, as we age, and not putting so much pressure on ourselves, I think, to be perfect. Yeah. Everybody's shapes and sizes are so much different. And I remember as a trainer for so long in my 20s, I put so much pressure on myself. I was a personal trainer. I needed to have a six pack. I needed to have every muscle defined and eat a certain way. I realized looking back now that I'm in my 40s, I really put a lot of pressure on myself that I didn't need to, because I was healthy, and everybody's body type is so different. And just embracing ourselves and loving ourselves, even loving, the imperfections, because we're unique, all unique.
Yeah. And I think when we're more honest about our imperfections, that's a hashtag I use all the time, is perfectly imperfect. But I think that when we are more honest about our imperfections, we're more relatable anyway. That's the one thing I can remember. At one point I was, really building a business, and someone talked to me and they were like, I so want to join you, but like, you are way too perfect. Like I can't ever attain that. And I'm like, whoa, that was such just like, it was not a compliment to me, because I was like, I am completely failing, right? Because I am the furthest thing from perfect. And if that's what I'm giving off, then there's a problem. There's a big problem. I do love in today's world, like I do feel like we're starting to embrace things differently, right? We're starting to embrace different body types and see all different shapes and sizes as beautiful, which I'm so grateful for. I got made fun of growing up so much. Like the other night, my daughter had her phone and she was doing, of course, a TikTok, right? And zoomed in on my rear. She's like, oh, mama, booty's so thick. And I'm like, stop, She's like, no, for real, you've got a booty. I'm like, yes, I'm very well aware. Thank you. I've dealt with it my entire life. She's like, it's a good thing. It's a really good thing. It's like, well, yeah, not when I grew up. It was not. I got made fun of so much for my body shape, and I had no control over it. I was in middle school. There's not one thing I could have done about it. But now, it's embraced and it's seen as beautiful. I'm like, dang, I grew up in the wrong era. Not fair.
But I do love it. I love there's so much that's come to light with like body positivity. And like you said, people showing, I've noticed that even more on social media, people showing their imperfections and showing that, hey, I'm wearing a bathing suit and I'm, this size and she's this size, and we can embrace each other and we don't have to compare, and we can love the imperfections in that. I've really enjoyed seeing that come to light. And I do agree. I think people can relate to that more, and it supports people to feel more confident in their own skin as well.
Oh, I completely agree. And I think like, for example, in the summer times, it's so hard. And I'll be honest. There's been times when I have not wanted to get in that pool with my kids, because I'm like, I do not feel like being in a bathing suit, but they don't care. They could care less, and what my kids are going to remember in 20 years is mom being in the pool with them, right? They don't care that my scars are showing, right? Like that's the least of their concerns. And it's like, we've got to somehow, and I say all this like I've got it mastered, and I don't, right? Like I don't. We all still struggle with things, but if we can try somehow to flip that script and really just start thinking like, okay, well, wait a minute, but first of all, am I a good person? Like, what is my heart like? What is my mental health like? What am I healthy on the inside? Am I going to live to see my grandkids? Right? Like looking at different things like that and really taking a step back and being like, okay, these are the things that truly matter, not necessarily what people are perceiving on the outward appearance.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. And you know what? When I look at you, Natalie, I just see gorgeous. Like you're so gorgeous. And I think that you look super fit. I've even noticed myself when I take some of your classes and you kick my butt at Burn Bootcamp, which is great. But it's so interesting because I just see you in a totally different light. Like you're so lean and sculpted and have such a great figure. And then it's so interesting to me that you could see yourself any different than that. And I guess that's, how we all are. We see more of those imperfections than like what you were saying, what people perceive us. But a lot of times that's just a story because people are looking at us thinking, oh my goodness, you look so beautiful. Maybe I wish I had that, or I wish I looked like that. And then we're thinking, oh, maybe they're judging us.
Right.
So that's so interesting how that could be a story where a lot of people may not even be looking at you like that. They're looking at you like, wow, she looks so fit, so healthy. I wish I could achieve that body. I wish I could have those muscles. But we're thinking that they're judging us like we're judging ourselves. So that's pretty interesting too.
Oh, totally. And you can say that because you can't see me on the screen right now. So you don't know what I look like right now. No, just kidding.
When you talk about like loving yourself first, I agree. I think that's so important. And it sets the precedence for like everything and how you treat yourself, you treat others, what you attract into your life. So could you maybe give us an example of how somebody could start loving themselves more and start, like you said, think fit first? How could somebody start doing that?
Well, I'm big on my faith, right? Like, and in fact, I just was telling my daughter this last night. I truly 100% as cheesy. And this is exactly what my text to her said. I was like, as cheesy as it sounds, like God made you on purpose. He made you exactly the way you are because you are perfect in his image. You have to remember that. Like you were created the way you are 100% on purpose. There were zero mistakes made, zero. So, if you can somehow try to just embed that into your head, whether it is putting things all around your house, right? Little reminders, putting things in your car, on the mirror. Personal development and personal growth is so huge. And I think that when you can learn to come from a place of love instead of a place of resentment or anger, it can change everything. And so, for me personally, my first steps are I do a devotion every single morning to try to remind me and get my mind set right so that I can think in a more fit, mental aspect throughout the day. That's my first step. And then just trying really to work. I'm constantly listening to podcasts. I have a podcast, right? And I'm constantly listening and putting positivity into my head. So if we're putting negative and we're having negative self-talk and we're only listening to negative things, like that's what's going to come out. And so we've got to learn to put the positive in. It can be from the music that you're listening to, the things that you're reading, the stuff that you're looking at. Like it's just anywhere you can think of, if there's an aspect where you're like, you know what, that could probably be a bit better, change it, right? Put something positive in place of that. Instead of on your refrigerator, like skinny feels better than, what is it? Or nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. Not true. Skinny doesn't feel great. You want to be strong. You want to be healthy. You want to be able to lift your kids, right? So, change that. Get that off of your refrigerator because that's ridiculous. So it's stuff like that, like just trying to really shift. And it's hard. It's not going to be easy. It's simple, right? It's simple strategies, but it's not easy. So you've got to do the work though. You've got to do the work because if you can't love yourself on the inside, nothing on the outside will ever be enough, ever. You can do all the plastic surgery, all the injections, and I'm not against any of the things. But if you can't be fit on the inside, it doesn't matter how much weight you lift. Doesn't matter about your six pack, your muscle growth, your Botox. It doesn't matter. Like you've got to start on the inside.
Yeah, so true. And we talked about on the previous podcast, I was sharing with the listeners, you are enough. You are deserving enough, worthy enough. You have enough, you do enough, you are enough. So, incorporating that into loving yourself and just appreciating yourself for where you are, appreciating the journey. Thinking different, like I've mentioned on the podcast episodes before, when you're starting to think different, it's a practice because thinking is a habit. And so if you've thought a certain way for years and years, like maybe it's a habit to put yourself down, or it's a habit to like beat up on yourself, or some people even think like, hey, how I motivate myself is I put myself down. Like, you're ugly, you're fat, and that motivates me. And so they're getting into that practice thought habit, but just changing your thoughts like one step at a time into, a more positive habit, a thinking habit that's going to support you even more, like building yourself up to reach your goals instead of maybe tearing yourself down.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think personal development, reading great books that are going to support that and help you to flip that script. You've got to be mentally strong, not all the time, right? Like, it's not about, having this idea of perfection and like that you're never weak, but you've got to be mentally strong. Life isn't easy, right? So you've got to do what you can to be fit from the inside.
I love that. And so, Natalie, what is something that you would just love for the listener to take away from today on our message?
I think just realizing, like, I don't care who you are, what stage of life you're in, chances are you've either been through a battle, you're going through one right now, or you will. None of us are immune from it. And I learned that really hardcore when we got our diagnosis. And so I just love to tell people, if you can take anything away, it's just don't wait for tragedy to strike before you start taking care of yourself. I know without a doubt, like, if I would not have been doing my personal growth, reading my devotion every single day, being in the shape I was physically, eating the way that I had, if I would not have had all of those pieces in place when I did get my diagnosis, I know without a doubt, I might not have made it through, but I darn sure would not have come through and been able to get back in a healthy lifestyle, right? Like, it would have been a whole lot harder. And my journey was really freaking hard. Like, it was not one that was just A to Z. It was miserable. It's still miserable. So it's like, I just really wish that people don't wait until you get that diagnosis to be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to start taking care of myself, right? Don't wait until you lose someone before you're like, oh, I really need to get right in the head. Like, quit waiting. Don't wait, because it's going to happen. So start now. There's no better time than the present. So just don't wait for it to strike. Start taking care of yourself in the here and the now.
I love that. Like, you can start today, one step at a time, one thought at a time, one action step at a time. Like, start today, put yourself first, because it change everything in your life. And I was listening to Mel Robbins the other day. She said something where she created this thing where you would wake up every morning and just give yourself a high five.
Yeah.
In the mirror. And I thought that was so cool. So that's so simple, but that's something that, you can start doing today. Just wake up in the morning, do you brush your teeth, just give yourself a high five. You can even throw in there, you are enough. Something great's going to happen today. Or, you know what? I love you. And that might be hard at first if you're not used to doing that, but just getting in that habit of kind of pumping yourself up in the morning. Hey, I'm going to give you a high five. You're up. You showed up today, you brushed your teeth, whatever, and just start there. Simple. I love that.
Yeah. Cause you matter, and it doesn't matter what stage of life, again, that you are. It could be, you could be someone trying to climb the corporate ladder. You could be running your own business. You could be a stay-at-home mom. You could be a working mom. You could be a work from home mom. It doesn't matter. It goes for everyone. Like, you have to take care of yourself. If you're not taking care of yourself, you are not good for anyone around you. I think that we let ourselves take the back burner so much in life, but there has to be a time when you just say, okay, I'm drawing a line and I'm starting now. It's happening.
Yeah. I love that so much. That's so, so true. So, Natalie, what is your favorite quote or mantra that you love to live by?
Ooh, well, perfectly imperfect is one. That's definitely one that I do. And then here recently, it's a Bible verse, and it's Esther 4:14, and it's for perhaps this is the moment for which you were created. I think no matter where you are in life, like, again, you're here on purpose. This moment right here, wherever you are in life, is exactly where you're supposed to be. You were created for this. You're the girl for the job.
I love that. And it was so amazing that you just shared that Bible verse, because my the number patterns that I see a lot. And whenever I'm praying to God and asking for a sign, or just say, hey, I'd love to see your presence here with me, I get the pattern of 4s or 1. So it's either like 44, like I'll send a voice message and it's 44 seconds, or I get 414 or 111.
Yeah.
So that was amazing that you just did the Bible
over. So that was
there you go. See, this is the moment for which you were created, Christy, right here. You got it.
I love that. So Natalie, it's been so amazing having you on, sharing your wisdom and nuggets and your story. It's just so inspirational and so powerful. And I just love the work that you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you very, very much for having me on. It's been an honor.
You're welcome. So how can people connect with you and get to know you more?
Well, on social media, I'm just My Think Fit pretty much across the board. I do have a podcast, Life Work, the podcast. Unraveling Life Work is our website. And then my personal website is Natalie Tuman. So that's pretty simple. And then I do have a new nonprofit. I say new, it's been in the works for a while, but our nonprofit is the Tuman Breast Cancer Foundation. So tumorBreastCancer.org is our website for the foundation.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. And I hope you have an amazing day.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
And remember, friend, to dream big, follow your heart, and never give up on you because you're worth it. Thank you for joining me today on the Mindset Chick podcast. I hope this show has you waking up every morning excited about the new manifestations you have created in your life. And if you would honor me with a 5-star review over in iTunes, I will happily enter your name in my Mindset Chick swag giveaway. Make sure you add your name to the review and I will reach out to you if you're the winner. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. Be sure to visit me at mindsetchick.com for past episodes and more gifts that will help you to manifest your dreams into reality.